Trying to add those last few players to your team before Madden 21 drops. Avoid the packs, save the racks, use code CC now, 25% off. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We are here, and EA had a stream tonight about the feedback we gave from the beta and some changes they made, and maybe more importantly, things they did not change. So we're gonna go over that here, break it down for you. They did not inspire a lot of people's to feel this is going to be a great. So they made some changes to, obviously talked about the celebration run mechanic, and the precision run modifier was no longer necessary. It's going to be using the left stick. Okay. Pre-play defensive adjustments. They introduced a new defensive back lock-on mechanic. Okay. I don't know how useful that's going to really be. Let's be honest. The ball carrier archetype run styles is definitely a bigger thing. It's going to make different running backs of different sizes and levels feel different. So I like that. So they have agile small, agile tall, bruiser quick, and bruiser heavy. Agile is just going to be 80 agility or above and under 225 pounds. Good example there is Christian McCaffrey. This unlocks faster animations. Agile small, again, is a shorter player like Tyreek Hill, and agile tall is going to be like Julio Jones. So they're going to be, if they're classified as agile, they will be able to get quicker moves, but based on their little archetype here of agile, small, or tall, they're going to unlock quicker animations or a slower version of the animation, right? Which is okay. Bruiser, again, is about the change of direction, right? Which is it's a new attribute in the game this year. I think of like human joystick it being like 99 change of direction. This would be less than that. So this is about giving less agile players slower turn radiuses with the ball, as well as slower juking, spinning animations, but better trucking and stiff arm animations. Okay. You've got Bruiser as CJ Anderson, Bruiser Quick as Derrick Henry. This would be skill positions and linemen with speed rating of 90 or above. So he's nice, big, and tall. And then Bruiser Heavy is essentially people who are 290 pounds or heavier. Linemen, when they get the ball, right? They may be able to truck. They ain't gonna be able to juke anyone. Who knows? Upvotes on the feedback. User defense feels slow and sluggish. This was easily the biggest thing. It was the biggest thing. And they said they took our feedback and said, no, we're not going to change it. I agree that having a user be able to cover 3 or 4 routes or whatever it is not the best thing in the game, right? But you have to let me guard 1 or 2. You gotta let me do that. That one's bad. Maybe we need better players. Maybe you'll need a lurker or something like it. Who knows? But that one is kind of, you didn't have to make it the way it was in the past where you felt like it was overpowered. But between here and here, you've got to meet us somewhere in the middle, or at least meet us a little bit, right? Say we did a little bit to make it better. They didn't. They changed the hurdle and truck buttons back to where they were before. Cool. The players weren't reacting when the ball was thrown in their way. They said this was because at the point of the build for the beta, it wasn't fully fixed yet or finished. So they said that's something that they've fixed, and they're going to be looking at it again post-launch as well. Same thing with zone coverage. It wasn't fully done. Zone coverage was terrible. Hopefully this is better. They have a couple key points here. Added logic to modify break on the ball based on the facing direction of the defender, so if they can see the ball, they're going to react better. I like that. I don't like when the defender who has his back turned to me, as soon as the ball is released, instantly turns around. I don't like that. Zone behavior with zone defenders with zone coverage abilities is better. Cool. They should be. They didn't do much last time. Issues in cover 4 quarters and palms causing zone defenders to react too much to play action. Okay. Logic problems with quarter flat zones. Not matching vertical routes. Again, that's fine. Logic problems in cover 3 against halfback wheel routes. Fine. Underneath zones dropping logic was improved. Fine. And cover 3 and cover 2 will get more updates after launch. What that means, who knows? We'll have to play the game, see how the one-play touchdowns, how these deep zones really react. Deep zones are super important in the game. Let's see. Player switching logic is not intuitive. Beta had some changes to player switching logic we wanted to get more testing and feedback on. Based on the feedback, those changes had more unintended negative consequences than we'd like, so we removed those changes. Player switching logic will be the same as it was in Madden 20. Pretty good. I felt like the player switching last year was good. No problem. Film study. They talked about it more about how they put it in there to garner and gather feedback from us. It's not going to be at launch of Madden 20 when it will come later on. But the beta is a good chance for them to test things out, see get feedback without breaking the game. A live game, right? So I'm okay with how they did that. If it comes back, it comes back. Cool. Whatever. It is what it is. One thing I like they did here, the fatigue penalties for non-running backs when they carried the ball, there was a lot. So what they did was they decreased the penalty on fatigue if you didn't get hit. So if you slid or you go out of bounds, right? But they increased the fatigue if you get hit. So jet sweeps, quarterback runs, etc. You get hit, you're gonna get a lot more tired, which makes sense. I can go with that. AA pass rush didn't seem very effective. That was very true. I think that led to the fact that we felt like zones and the users were really bad. When there's no pass rush, you can't stay out there for 5 or 6 seconds. People are going to bounce. Zones aren't going to cover enough in time. You're going to have time for routes to fully develop constantly. So we needed it. Pass rush is always a really tricky subject. We'll see. They talk about balancing the two and they added in logic for pass block double teams to utilize the resistance systems. That means that when rushing against double teams, any memory built up against the rusher to that point will count towards the rusher for both blockers in the double team, making it harder to beat the double team. So double team, in theory, now sounds like it's going to actually be a double team. QBs can be stripped in the pocket without starting to throw in competitive. Before starting to throw, QBs fumbling before starting to throw is unfair for competitive. In response, we've disabled strip sacks on QBs inside the pocket, with the exception of pass rushers with strip specialist ability. This is for competitive mode only. It's a pretty big deal. Quarterbacks fumbling in the pocket is a tricky subject. A lot of people don't like it. Fine. Pass max throwing power, passing feedback, and penalty. When you tried to throw a ball too far, you weren't just throwing the ball short, you were throwing it somewhere else. So they fixed that and they've changed it now to say out of range, so you know. So it's just going to be a short ball, which is cool. That's fine. What we got here, the top bugs, the rainbow colored arms, pink armor equipment. We knew that was not going to be in the game. Player pictures, of course, they're going to update that. Visors, of course. Gamer tags covering the play clock, of course. And this was a really big one. Coaching adjustments reset after every drive. And coverage depth adjustment automatically set to 0. So every drive your coaching adjustments were resetting, which was bad. Additionally, if you went into the coach settings and you didn't do anything, it automatically was defaulting your zone depths to 0, which again could have led to why we felt like zones were really bad. So they fixed that. That was obviously a bug. Cool. There's going to be more information coming out on Friday about X factors and abilities. Should be interesting to see how they try to change and balance some of this stuff out. I don't know. I think like the biggest thing to me is obviously the user on defense. Where is it? Right here. The user on defense feeling slow. Clint said one thing that really is going to strike a nerve with people is they wanted it to be more realistic. But so much of this game just been now implemented is not realistic. These abilities are not realistic. I know they say we're trying to make superstars feel like superstars, right? Eric Dickerson felt like a superstar, but that wasn't real. That he was untackleable, that he would have 17 broken tackles in the game. This stuff didn't happen. Getting able to throw the ball further, run and cut on a dime consistently every single play, catch every ball. These absolutes are not realistic. So they can't pitch realism in one side and have other aspects of the game be blatantly unrealistic. So if they wouldn't have said that, they would have just said, we don't want it being overpowered. I'm still upset. I'm just not as upset. But when you use a bad example, it's just going to highlight that even more. So that was it. Again, it doesn't all sound great. Some things are improved, and I know we will appreciate that. I'm sure more will be improved on with the final build that we get, and then obviously very early patches on. But I'm not going to jump off the wagon and think the game's going to suck. I'm going to wait to play it. I don't love the direction we went in overall, but we'll see. We'll see. I hope it's fun. I hope it's fun.